Hey, good afternoon guys. Ron here, Precision Sails, doing a walk around of a really nice mainsail here. This is a mainsail for a Starwind 19, and what we're looking at is Challenge Warp Drive 5.11 Tri-Radial Dacron. One of my favorite cloths, excellent for sportier boats. The Tri-Radial allows our design team to design a much better sail shape, which will give you a better performance in pointing. Also a little bit more speed, a little bit more control, and less heel. So you're going to be able to run flatter, a little bit nicer cruise for those of you cruising. But also, if you have anybody on board that doesn't like that sensation of heeling, this will reduce it a little bit. And let's take a walk around here. So we'll just start down here. We've got the bag that sails come in. And this is a mainsail, so on top there, the coil with the zap straps on it. That is the way your battens will arrive. Inside the bag, we also have the sail tie that comes along with it. So you get one of those as well. So that's how she comes. And let's take a quick little walk around, and we'll start down here in the tack corner. And that's a good look at what the tack corner looks like with the radial design sail and the radial corners. So we'll just kind of come back down to this radial corner here, and you'll see that those radial corners line up very, very well with the radial panels. And just take a look at that tack with the reinforcements, good size ring, Cunningham, all reinforced, really, really nicely done. And then we'll just take a quick little walk down the foot until we get down to this clew corner. And I want to just focus in a little bit here on this clew. Again, the radial corner, beautiful, and moves forces out of that corner. That's the purpose of a radial corner. And then I just want to focus down here on the clew. So this is a loose-footed sail, loose-footed main. So we're going to use that clew slug, and you'll notice that that clew slug looks an awful lot like, shape-wise, the bolt rope. Hopefully you can see that. And what that does is it's going to replace a mainsail that was fixed-footed in its design, and we're replacing it with this loose foot, so that will slide down the track. And just to make sure that we don't cause any damage, or we make sure that that slug doesn't pop out, we've included this Velcro strap. And this can be removed, obviously, and it's just right now through the clew there, but it's just a Velcro strap. You're going to strap that around the boom so that if for any reason you get overpowered or anything like that, you don't have to worry about that popping out. You don't need to use it every single time, but it's there if you need it. So we'll just walk on up here, take a look at this reef point. Now, a couple of things I want you to notice. We do build our reef points exactly the same way as our tack and clew corners. So this one here is on the leech side, so this is exactly like the clew. And then something that we do, not a lot of sailmakers do, but we have these reinforcement belts all the way across the reef point, all the way to the other side. And it is our belief that the reef should be built exactly like the foot. And so we reinforce where the grommets go, and we have that reinforcement all the way across that sail. So now let me just kind of pan up here, and you can get a good idea. This is where the tri-radial comes together and meets in the center of the sail, and it changes to an almost vertical panel as we start heading up the sail. So beautiful, beautiful sail. And I've got it just kind of hanging from the ceiling a little bit so that we can get in behind it, and I can show you what this material looks like a little bit closer up. But I did want to stop and take a look and chat briefly about full versus partial battens. What we have here is an example of a full batten, and you can see that it goes all the way to the luff of the sail, and we'll walk around and take a look at that batten receptacle. And the partial battens obviously don't go all the way. Now, for this sail, we like to make the same batten enclosures. This is what we call our tie-in batten enclosure. The batten is going to slide in just behind here, and then you're going to follow it with this strap. So the batten is going to be in there, and then you're going to use the string and the two grommets, and you're going to go back and forth, get yourself some mechanical advantage so that you can put really good tension on this batten. And you're going to put a lot of tension on it when you're sailing in lighter winds. If you're going to sail in heavier winds, I'd recommend that you ease off that tension before you raise your sail, and just gives you the ability to flatten your sail a little bit more, gives you more sail control, and you don't need that structure as much in the heavier winds. So this gentleman opted for 2 full battens towards the head, and partial battens towards the foot. So just kind of scroll up there, and sorry, this light's in the way there, but we'll come on down again. Now let's just scoot in behind this sail, and I'll try to get a good idea of what this looks like in the sun with the light behind it. So you can see that almost ripstop style of weave in that cloth. There's one of the vertical seams. And we come on up and look at the horizontal broad seam and the stitching. Beautiful, beautiful sail. But that should give you a better idea of how she looks, or how she's going to look when it's up in the air. So let's just scoot around here. We'll take a look at the luff of the sail, and a couple things I want to kind of draw your attention to further on this batten. This is a batten receptacle that the batten's going to slide into, and so it'll slide in here. It pops out, but I want you to notice the reinforcements that we put around that batten and the batten receptacle. And then I want to just draw your attention to the batten pocket itself. Now the batten pocket is a separate unit, and it gets sewn on the sail. So there is a base to this, and then there's an upper portion. And so the batten never actually makes contact with the sail. Not everyone does that. We do it here. Some of the other guys, what they do is they use the sail as the base, and they just put one layer over top of it, and the batten goes between the sailcloth and the batten top. The problem with that, if anything were to happen to that batten through the years, if it breaks, if it splinters, if it does whatever, you're going to cause damage to your sail, and this is going to eliminate that. So here we have a good close-up of that slider configuration at the batten receptacle. I'll scoot down a little bit and give you an example of one of the sliders that isn't on a batten receptacle. And notice the way we put those in there. It's called a figure 8 stitch around that bolt rope, and then the grommet, and as well as the little vinyl piece there that stops any issues with chafing. Okay, so if your sailmaker isn't doing that, then you need to perhaps look at what we're doing. Let's just scoot around here, and we'll quickly just walk down this luff so you get a good idea of what this looks like, and that's that reef point as well. So there you go, guys. This is an excellent example of not the largest boat in the world, but what attention to detail looks on every one of our sails. If you're interested, please give us a call, and we'll get you a quote.